And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of This Our Live. Did that kind of fast. Well, good news today. Um, I'm not going to go through and give names and all that because it's nobody's business, but let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are at least 6 people confirmed for the wedding. So that's good. That's good. See, one thing we definitely understand, is people are not going to fly in.
That's too expensive.
Yeah, because you would have to hire a pilot to fly you in because there are no commercial flights into our area, except, I don't remember if Brattleboro has
I
commercial
think
flights.
Concord. Well, there's that one of it right, White River Junction, isn't there?
White River Junction, yeah. That's like the closest, and
That's quite a drive even after that.
yeah, you'd still have to hire a car to either that or a taxi to bring you down here. It's kind of out of the way, I guess. I mean, when we consider the fact that there are no commercial flights into our immediate area, it makes it more understandable if fewer people show up for the wedding. Because you don't want to fly in and then have to drive 2 or 3 hours to get here. That's kind of an annoyance, I would think. I
Would it
mean,
be about an hour and a half, 2 hours?
from yeah, something like that. So it's understandable. I mean, it is understandable. At the same time, this is not the kind of event that happens.
Once every week.
Yeah, I mean, this is,
Times.
yeah, a wedding.
Rather uncommon.
Yeah, a wedding is uncommon, and therefore this is an important event. I mean, regardless, it is an important event, and there are some very important people in our lives, very special people in our lives. If my mom was not,
Cuckoo.
yeah, I shouldn't say me mum. If my mother, there we go, was not sick, she would be invited. The thing is, if she showed up, she probably wouldn't know what was going on, which is sad.
If we could even get her here.
Yeah, if we could even get her here, we'd have to hire a private ambulance to drive her up here. I think
Then we'd have to find her a nursing home to stay in, I think.
yeah, and then I think the crew of the ambulance would lose their mind before they got here. But hey, you know what? Thinking back on that, there were times where she did really well. You know, I would tell her, "Well, you're on holidays." What I call holidays, what would you call it? A vacation, right?
Vacation.
You know, vacation. You're on vacation. Um, that seemed to quell any possible disturbance from her. But anyway, I sent my sister an invitation. Do you think she's going to show up? Probably not. 99.99999% chance she's not going to show up.
I'm sure that was a waste of an invitation.
No. Well, to me it is important to let her know that she's invited.
Yeah, like she's going to show up.
Yeah, I mean, if she would actually show up, I would probably die of a heart attack. Yeah, I would die of a heart attack.
No, you're not.
But we do have confirmation from 4 people, 5, 6, 6 people. That's all I can think of so far. What about 7? 7, your brother.
Yeah.
7 people in a wedding. I'm trying to find Jeff Lawrence. If anybody out there knows Jeff Lawrence, I don't know how to spell his last name. I'll give you.
Don't have a Sam's Club around here because I know one thing. Sara Lee lasagnas are very good.
Um,
The frozen ones.
Jeff
That
was.
way we could just stick it in the oven and heat it up and.
Jeff was my big brother from Big Brothers Big Sisters. He owned a company that put televisions in hotels.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that was fun.
Yeah, and I worked for him a few times. I got paid pretty good for doing it too. But Houston, I mean, the greater Houston area is where he would be. He bought a house in the greater Sugar Land area. But look, I've tried to find the guy. I cannot find him. I would love to invite him to the wedding. It's sad when you lose track of certain people. And I've contacted Big Brothers Big Sisters in Houston, and they don't keep records beyond a certain period, and we're talking the 1970s here. They don't have records from that far back. So, if Jeff Lawrence sees this video or somebody contacts him for me, I've looked on Facebook, I've looked on whitepages.com, I've looked on Google, can't find him. His age range would be probably the 70s. Not really sure, but I'm thinking the 70s. He was, I believe, in the Korean War. I think he was from up north. I know he was from up north. Which state, I don't remember, but I knew him in Texas, and we used to go fishing quite a bit. Uh, San Luis Pass, San Luis Pier. The only person that an invitation has not been sent to yet was one of my shrinks when I was a teenager, because we found it today.
Misplaced it.
Yeah, we misplaced it, so it'll go out Monday or Tuesday, probably Monday. But otherwise, the invitations have pretty much been sent out. There are some invitations that will be handed out on Monday. But other than that, I think we've pretty much taken care of invitations. We may have 3 or 4 that we could still, because there actually is someone in Bel Air, Texas, that I'd like to send an invitation to. Oh gosh, now you asked me, I forget her name. Mrs. Holloway. Mrs. Holloway. I'd like to send her an invitation. I don't know if she's even alive anymore. I don't know if she's still alive. But I'd still like to send her an invitation, or her family an invitation. But I would need to open one of the envelopes and enclose a note explaining who I am. Like, yeah, like a couple of
who the hell is this?
Yeah, because a couple of people, more than a couple of people I sent invitations to, I've had to enclose a note because I'm like, they're gonna go, who in the blank is this? Who's sending me an invitation? I don't know this person. So I would have to, with her, like some of the other people, I'd have to explain who I am. But
you're wanting to spend a fortune on champagne. I don't think it's necessary.
We went to the liquor store the other day to look at the champagne. Now they had some champagne that was $200, $300, $400. We're not spending that kind of money on
glasses for the start champagne out of.
Yeah. There were 2 or 3 or 4 brands or bottles or styles or whatever of champagne. They were like 50, 60, $70 a piece. Next month, maybe. But for everybody else, they're going to have cheap champagne. If they even get champagne, they'll get wine. cheap wine maybe, but they'll get wine.
Well, they're good. Their wine is pretty good, you know.
Yeah.
I
So.
used to use it to cook with, but that one was like roast. It was stew meat.
So. Yeah, the wedding's
Kind of
coming
like a
up,
stroganoff.
and the order from Celtic Croft has been shipped, which kind of surprised me that it shipped that fast. So when I ordered my kilt, it seemed to take forever because they had to get it from overseas, and then they brought it over here, and they had to inspect it to make sure it was
A couple of
okay.
my things are coming from overseas, but they're hair things.
So, and then they
It
repackaged
should
it.
take forever.
Yeah. So
They say in like 3 weeks. I'm like, oh god, yeah, right.
So
I think so.
this, and then we have the material to make the flashes with.
Oh, the cats don't eat it.
Yeah. Oh, we can go pick our family up in Brattleboro.
Where's the station at though in Brattleboro?
When you cross the river,
Uh-huh.
not when you go by Walmart, not that far, but
We go the other way.
the other way. Yeah, it's just not. Instead of going north, you go south.
To the right.
To the left.
Left.
Yeah.
And then on down the road.
Yeah, and then there's a station. I've seen it. I don't offhand. I can't remember exactly where it is, but I remember seeing it.
We can buy us a case of wine over there. $3 bottle of wine. Hey,
yeah,
don't complain, people.
Yeah, that may be what people get.
Well, they don't like it. They don't like it. You know.
Yeah. But anyway, so we do know that basically a handful of people are going to be here. So far, that's what we know about.
I wouldn't bite Mike, but you might smack the other one.
Yeah, I have a feeling I would.
He'd smart off, and you'd have to whop him over the head or something.
Either me or Tom, or anyway. And I'm just going to say it straight out. You idiots want to come and do whatever you want to do. You stay on the sidewalk. I'm not saying I'm not going to go.
Get a shot in your ass.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not going to go out there and say something to you. I might very well go out there. Who knows what? Because me, Tom, Dave, there are all sorts of folks that might go out there and just let you know a few things.
I might load something and start shooting.
Yeah. So y'all might want to just stay the freak away.
Well, lots of holes in your body.
I mean, do you guys realize that you've had support from businesses, business owners, even judges, and now all those people oppose you? Do you realize that? Do you ever think about what you're actually doing? Do you actually think about how you make enemies? You don't make allies. You make enemies. We used to be one of you. You can admit to it or deny it. It doesn't matter. We used to be one of you.
Does your uncle like Mexican food or not?
Not really.
Oh, yeah. Well, then we won't wind up there, probably.
No. But do you guys realize that at one point there were a whole lot of people that supported you, but now they oppose you? You don't make allies. You make nothing but enemies. Think about that. Think about how you make enemies. True positive activism garners allies, does not make enemies. Think about that, you idiots. But I don't think you're smart enough to think about it. You follow Ian, who's in my book, he's a pedophile. He sleeps with a 16-year-old child. Yes, a 16-year-old is a child.
They tell you Auburn doesn't think any very highly of them trying to make it a church either.
Yeah.
And she's one of them.
Yeah, she is one of you. And what's that term that?
That's a hypocrite or something like
that. Not a sociopath, not a psychopath, but I forget the term now. Anyway, the focus always has to be on Ian He always has to have these people following him. I don't think you guys realize how much you do what Ian wants you to do. He has this.
Like he wants to be worshipped almost.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a term for it, and I can't remember what the term is, but not sociopath, not psychopath, but
False prophet.
no, it's not exactly what I'm looking for. It's
Jim Jones.
well, I mean, he may very well wind up getting y'all into all sorts of trouble, and y'all might wind up killing
Might come
yourselves.
time to drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you guys are doing. You're drinking his Kool-Aid. He needs this admiration from women. Actually, he's not getting it from women. He's getting it from children, from teenagers, and young adults. Um, you guys don't even realize that you're doing exactly what he wants you to do. You know how many people don't like you, don't support you? Do you realize that? We used to be one of you, if you want to admit to it or not. But we don't want anything to do with you anymore because you're a bunch of nutcases. You don't make allies, you make enemies. People you do pornographic chalking, you do slanderous chalking. One person, a business owner, went out there when that person found out what you were saying about that person. He got pissed off. You want to make allies. You don't want to make a bunch of enemies. Come on, people. Come on. Are you completely stupid? I'm starting to think you are. You want to make allies. You don't want to make enemies. But you're too dumb to figure it out.
Somebody gets pissed off and sues you for slander. It ain't gonna be funny.
Yeah.
They can do it too.
I'm about to sue you for slander for some of the things you said about me. But I have other ways of dealing with you idiots.
Well, when they're sitting in a bird cage, it'll be at least we'll know where they're at.
This is what I'm going to do. Next time that Ian Bernard winds up in jail, I'm going to contact some of the other inmates. I'm going to tell them he is sleeping with a 16-year-old, and he advocates 5-year-olds having relations with adults. I'm going to inform them that he started working on this child when she was 14. Now let's see how well he does in jail.
Lock him up by himself.
Yeah, once the other inmates find out about that. He knows better. He's not a complete idiot. He's an idiot, but he's not a complete idiot. So, anyway, you guys are, on the one hand, many of you are a joke. On the other hand, many of you are scary. On the other hand, many of you don't even realize that you're doing exactly what Bernard wants you to do. So, this video is almost 30 minutes long, so I'm going to say bye.